What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys a Week 7 team builder for the WPL, or the Western Pokemon League. Taking on my really good pal Nacho in the Detroit Teravolts. Wasn't that long ago that we took him on in Red, which of course you guys will not have seen by the time this is up. Again, like I mentioned, our Red Season 8 run will be uploaded after WPL and PTL are over, so that's sort of the idea there. So, Nacho's team consists of Blacephalon, which is a Super Z user, Dugtrio, Gyarados, which is a Z user, Galvantula, Aerodactyl, which is a Z user, Avalugg, Mega Altaria, Toxapex, Scrafty, Breloom, and Metagross. The only thing that like Super Z Blacephalon can do really is like Z Sunny Day, which is interesting, but not all that threatening. Priority-wise, he's got Dugtrio with Sucker Punch, Galvantula with Sucker Punch, Breloom with Mach Punch, and Metagross with Bullet Punch. Hazard setting, he's got the Dugtrio with Rocks, Galvantula with Webs, Aerodactyl with Rocks, Toxapex with T-Spikes, and Metagross with Rocks. Removal options, he's got Aerodactyl with Defog, Avalugg with Rapid Spin, and Altaria with Defog. And then 4 times weaknesses, he is weak with Gyarados to Electric, Breloom to Flying, and Scrafty to Fairy. So I've got a few of those on here. I'm not actually bringing either of my fairies, which might be a huge mistake, and I may regret it later. We'll see about that. We'll see about that one. I just really didn't think I could necessarily fit them on the team, honestly. Like, it's not like they looked that bad. I just had other options that maybe looked better in terms of the roles that they played. So that's sort of my thought on that. Yeah. Okay then. So, in terms of what I'm not expecting, I really don't necessarily think the Scrafty is coming, especially against Double Fairy. It really makes no sense for him to bring Scrafty. You know, it might be an alright Garchomp check, maybe. There are better ones for sure. Metagross, I'm a little bit sketched out on. I don't necessarily think Metagross is going to come against me. Yeah, I'm not really sure about Metagross coming to this game. It could come. I don't really see it all that much. We'll see. Bullet Punch might be very useful in revenge killing my Mimikyu. Who knows? Garchomp's up first on my team. I'm running more of a defensive set with safety goggles, so this is sort of a semi-pseudo check to the Breloom, I should say. Can handle Aerodactyl to an extent as well, and it can handle Dugtrio fairly effectively. I kind of sit on a lot of stuff here. This may not be the best option. It was a good rocker, and his team is pretty weak to rocks, so I wanted to get that out of the way there. Rock's really important to break like a sash on the Breloom. Very, very important for that. Very important to break the sturdy on the Avalugg as well. So I wanted to bring a rocker, and Garchomp seemed to fit the bill there. Next, Dragon Claw is just a really good way to hit a lot of the mons on his team. Poison Jab is there for the Breloom and the Altaria, and then Earthquake hits everything else. I'm outrunning Gyarados. Excuse me. I'm outrunning Gyarados right off the bat. He's got the Flyers and the Aerodactyl and the Gyarados. I should be able to comfortably live hits from Metagross if it does come and be able to Earthquake it back. Drapions next. Running an Assault Vest set, fully specially defensive Assault Vest. This is my main Blacephalon answer. It's also my main Galvantula answer, which is a fucking problem. That mon is such a pain in the ass. I'm really scared of it. Yeah, this is a pseudo Breloom answer as well, although it doesn't really do a great job of that. It's got good enough base defense that it can do something, I guess. Also a special Altaria check to an extent, and a physical Altaria check if it is not set up yet. Knockoff seems really good here, so that was kind of the idea behind that. Thunderfang is there to hit the Mega Gyarados. A little bit harder, Z Aerodactyl. It'll hit the hardest that I have there. It's also a way for me to hit the Toxapex as well as all of the above. So I figured Thunderfang was a little bit more useful here than the Earthquake. Realistically, I want to knock off as many items as I can on his team, and the main idea is to Pursuit Trap the Blacephalon. Blacephalon is such a big problem for my team to deal with, and it's forcing mons like Reuniclus and Beware not to come. Even a mon like Mimikyu, it scares Mimikyu out realistically, and Registeel. It's kind of the main reason that I'm not bringing a lot of those, so Pursuit Trapping it would be really nice. Dugong's next. I'm bringing a Parastrap Dugong. This is my way to break through the Toxapex. Hopefully I can Parastrap something like the Pex, like the Avalugg. You know, I can Parastrap the Scrafty if I needed to. Basically anything that Dugong isn't weak to, I can Parastrap, and that's kind of a really cool way of doing this. I can Chew Hit from the Blacephalon, Whirlpool it, Protect, get some really useful chip damage off on it, and maybe rest up on the Blacephalon as well, potentially. There's obviously some huge threats in regards to the Dugong that I can't stay in on, mons like Breloom, things of that nature. So, you know, Whirlpool Chip is going to be really useful in a lot of things, but this is mainly my way to deal with the Toxapex indefinitely, which would almost otherwise sit on a few of my mons, and I don't really want that. So, yeah. Beedrill's next. I'm running a fairly standard Beedrill set. Drill Run, U-Turn, Poison Jab, Defog. So I've got Defog on there to get rid of webs and rid of the rocks. People have really liked to bring webs against me, so I'm just not going to let them have them. Defog's really useful here. You know, this is a really good pivot against most of his team. It's another Mega Altari killer. I'm probably going to lead with this because it matches up really well against Galvantula. Only problem I would have is if he is Scarf Aerodactyl. That would be a problem, or like Scarf Dugtrio. We'll sort of see how it plays out, but I think breaking the Sash on Galvantula by U-turning into it, U-turning out of it, or clicking Poison Jab turn 1 even, just to like get it down to Sash, and then like killing it and maybe defogging the turn afterwards, I'd also be okay with. So there's a lot going on there. I think Beedrill's probably going to want to trade 1-for-1 and not going to have a ton of longevity this game. It's not super useful overall, but it's an alright Breloom killer as well. Lycanroc-Dusk is next with an Expert Belt. So Expert Belt, I really wanted to go like Rock Incense this game and really throw him off with how much damage my Accelerock was doing, but I opted to go with Expert Belt instead just because it sort of buffs my damage against literally everything else. Mach Punch from the Breloom is really threatening against this set in particular, but I've got the Garchomp to sort of handle the Breloom to an extent. You know, obviously I've got the safety goggles to make sure that I can't get spored by it. Yeah, so I'm SD Accelerock. Accelerock picks off a lot of mons on his team. He's got a lot of rocks weaknesses, so Accelerock will pick off the Gyarados, it'll pick off the Aerodactyl, the Galvantula, and the Blacephalon, which is 4 mons. After an SD, it'll fairly easily pick off the Dugtrio, which is a rock resist otherwise. And then I've got the Drill Run there to deal with Metagross. Bullet Punch is obviously a problem. I don't really chew Bullet Punches very well, just like I don't chew Mach Punches. Brick Break is there for the Scrafty. Drill Run will also hit the Altaria, but at +2 I may as well be clicking Accelerock because I have nothing. God, excuse me. Sorry, I have nothing super effective to abuse Expert Belt with that. And then I've also got the Brick Break there for the Avalugg, so I can Brick Break the Avalugg at +2, and it should do quite a huge chunk because of Tough Claws plus Expert Belt boost. You know, obviously Avalugg's very physically defensive, but Lycanroc-Dusk is a pretty monstrous attacker when it gets going. Brick Break's also there to hit the Breloom, and then +2 Drill Run is gonna body bag the Toxapex. So it's mainly here as a revenge killer. Again, that's what the Expert Belt is there for. Maybe pick off some kills on a Charty Berry Aerodactyl or something like that with a little bit of a boost from the E-Belt, and then it means I can switch up my moves too. Last but not least is our win con. So I really have confidence in this as a win con. It kind of body bags his entire team. This Zapdos set is really good against him. Biggest issue I'm thinking on paper is going to be the Avalugg. So if Avalugg doesn't come, this Zapdos set looks really good to me. I can get up in agility against quite a few things. A lot of paralyzed things from static, but realistically I can kind of agility on most Metagross variants. Only one that I can't really agility on is like a Banded variant. And I can roost on a lot of mons. You know, this kind of threatens Gyarados instantly out, and so I can get up in agility on that fairly easily. I've got coverage to hit everything on this team. Realistically, you know, anything that doesn't want to eat a Thunderbolt, or that wants to eat a Thunderbolt, aka Dugtrio, Breloom, and maybe the Mega Altaria, Hidden Power Ice bops them all. And yeah, so I'm pretty offensive this week with Timid Nature. I wanted to run Timid, so thing is, I could have hit the speed tier running Modest, of course, but I would have had to run a lot more EVs and speed, and it's like barely boosting my special attack, which I didn't really care about because I really feel like this is going to be a late game cleaner, and I'm going to be able to get a lot of chip damage off on things beforehand, especially with Rock Step. I think that'll be really clutch damage, especially against the Altaria. The Rock Chip's going to matter a lot. Yeah, the Rock Chip's going to matter a lot. But I'm max special attack, so I'm running Timid just to maximize the bulk EVs that I can have, and I just plop them all into HP just so I can live hits on both sides better. So that's the idea behind the Zapdos there. I'm running enough speed for the Gyarados as well. So actually, let me just recap the speed investments, because I didn't really talk about it, and I normally do. Garchomp's outspeeding Gyarados, Zapdos is outspeeding Gyarados, Beedrill is outspeeding Aerodactyl, and Lycanroc is outspeeding Galvantula. So in terms of what I didn't bring, first up, we got the double fairies, so Mimikyu, Primarina. Oh, worthy to note, holy shit, I didn't even talk about this. You guys have just been seeing Drapion on your screen. I dropped Lurantis for Drapion. Lurantis was not coming to a single game to finish out the season, and I really feel like Drapion was a good way to deal with some of the Psychic types that I was going to be running into at the end of the season here, so I ended up dropping Lurantis for Drapion. Gives me a T-Spiker as well, which is kind of cool. I didn't have, like, Beedrill's not really a reliable T-Spiker because it would rather pivot or attack, and I think Drapion sort of fills that role a little bit nicer. It's not like I have the biggest ground weakness in the world, but I do have a ground weakness for sure, and obviously I can't patch that up anymore. We've passed the transactions deadline, and I used all of them by switching Super Z from Garchomp onto Mimikyu, which is what it should have been on in the first place. So I wasted 2 transactions for that, but there you go. I didn't really need anything else anyways. So, Mimikyu and Primarina. Primarina looked really good in prep. I just didn't look at it. Same with Mimikyu. I kind of just avoided, like, I went into this prep really quickly, and I picked out the things that I wanted, and I was like, okay, that's good. Lycanroc was a revenge killer for a lot of things. Scarf Blacephalon becomes kind of an unthreat against me with a Lycanroc-Dusk on my team. You know, I identified the agility to attack Zapdos as being kind of a win con, and I went with it. And so while Mimikyu does look really good here to me, and while Primarina does look really good here to me, I'm just not bringing both of them. Registeel gets fucked by Blacephalon and Dugtrio, and I can't wall both of them, so I'm not bringing it. It's also like setup fodder for Breloom, so no thanks, and same with Scrafty. Registeel was just a gigantic waste of space this week. Altaria sets up all day on it as well. A special set tears through it, a physical set tears through it, so there's no real point. Reuniclus I might have been okay with. Scrafty threatens it a little bit. Galvantula is the main threat to it, same with Blacephalon, especially hitting on the special side. A little bit threatening, and I feel like I would have wanted to bring Overcoat for the Breloom. Otherwise, it just spores me and sets up on my face, and then Seed Bombs me to death. Beware, no. This matchup for Beware is just not there at all. Pex walls it fairly indefinitely, like his Normalium Z set can break through it pretty easily, but besides that, that's the only really good set that I can break through it. Blacephalon cucks it, Mega Altaria cucks it, Breloom cucks it, Scrafty cucks it, Gyarados cucks it, so there was a lot of Aerodactyl cucks it to an extent, so there's a lot of problems that I was running into bringing Beware this week. So that's going to be the team to take on Nacho. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys for the match.